Public Concord is nothing more than, monkey see, monkey do. You've surely heard the example of walking into New York City, seeing one person looking up, then you walk right by, right? But then you see 10 people looking up and you stop and look up as well. We're so deeply influenced by those we see as being just like us. Our brains are really super committed to this path that builds out, constantly diagnosing and calculating probability based on education, experience, and expectations. Seeing 10 people look up provides our brains with the ability to shortcut what to do next, as the calculation sees others we relate closely with and follows their lead. For example, I am comfortable saying you and I both have been endlessly annoyed by the laugh tracks running in the back of sitcoms, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, one of my favorite shows as a child. How many times have you besmirched the audacity of those suits in the control room dictating to you when you should laugh? I know when to laugh at will. I don't need you to tell me. You and I are not the only ones. In fact, this whole room likely agrees, whether it's your team members or your pets, right? We all find that laugh track to be so obnoxious. You think the executives of these sitcoms don't know that as well? You think that no one has ever told them? Of course they know this. They even agree with you. Yet they keep it. You know why it still exists? Because it works. As annoying as we find this laugh track, laughing is pleasurable. And if others are doing it, we naturally feel comfortable doing it as well. Their laughs trigger our path to include such a shared pleasurable experience. So much so, we ignore that it's fake. To the point, we then complain about it as much as we derive pleasure from it. In fact, our laughter is more frequent and longer lasting, which is directly correlated to our favor or disfavor of any sitcom. How insane does that sound? We know something's fake. We like it, we don't like it. Here's a fun fact for you. When measuring contributing factors of someone becoming a smoker, depression was 14%, parents smoking was 28%, having 1 to 2 friends who smoke was 1,000%. Yes, 1,000% more likely to smoke than not. It's true. You are who you hang out with. We illustrate this to our target in a number of ways. The most widely demonstrated method is through testimonials. We are comforted by those we find similar to us sharing a positive experience of a particular service we are contemplating. We naturally think they are like me. If I enroll in this service like them, it stands to reason I should have a comparable result, and look at them. They're very pleased. They love the results. Therefore, even if my results aren't as good, I'm confident I will be at least satisfied. Although most popular, testimonials are second to referrals. Referrals are far more powerful, as they stack public accord with hyperexposed affinity and a unanimity, as the referral source is likely a trusted friend or colleague to have the ability to contact them in the first place, right? But what if we don't have the availability to find such a high-value accomplice? We're back to speech patterns. The two most notable techniques is in simply making use of the phrase, those just like yourself, in a very casual, offhanded way when describing the qualification merits of your product to your target. Then secondly, which I like a little more, only when it's true, assimilate your prospect's experience as closely as possible to a past detailed success story while highlighting all the similarities, right? It would be structured as a short story with the main points being highlights, such as, if I may, your experience reminds me very much of blank. She or he, like you, describe the challenge. And when faced with describe the pros and cons, they ultimately chose describe the outcome you want. And since we have had the true pleasure of welcoming on board their entire family and friends, they obviously liked us, right? So if I may, I understand your position and I don't mean to come off as unbiased, but I did have the freedom to choose where I worked. And choosing name your company has been, the best decision I've ever made. For, name how many years you've been there. And in all of my years, I've personally been a part of many similar situations as yours. And it's my most informed recommendation that proceeding with name the path you want it to go down, is the best outcome for you. I do like you very much, and I won't let you down. Is it okay if we move forward together? Who says no to that? You allowed your prospect to actually visualize themselves in your recollection of similar situation with someone similar to them. That's what their brain wanted. It wanted to picture them. It's once they see themselves in that situation, they accept the results. The mind does not work to scrutinize the results in a situation where you direct the focus to public concord. The mind works to match the circle peg and the circle hole. If it fits, it accepts the results to be satisfying. Yeah, it's a real word. That's a term that means exactly what it sounds like. A result that's satisfying enough that it's sufficient enough. Listen, no brain looks for the perfect result. If it did, nothing would ever get done. Nothing really would ever get accomplished. It looks for the best result when measuring outcome divided by time spent in achieving the outcome.